What's up, weirdos? What's going on, guys? Bunch of weirdos sitting here. What are you guys waiting for anyway? You guys waiting for something? What's going on, guys? What's going on out there? Let's get into the chat a little bit, see what's going on in the news. We got some super chats. Magman, what's up, buddy? Good afternoon. Thank you so much, as always, for the support, my friends, guys. It always means everything. You guys know that. It's absolutely appreciated, man. Fantastic. Um, What do we got here? Crypto Future Poppy. Please dive into Swiftcoin when it hits 20 cents. I will personally serenade you with Careless Whisper on the saxophone. My friend, don't make promises you can't keep because I will hold you to that. Yeah, I can have a look at Swiftcoin for you. But first, quick shout out to the channel sponsor, Decent Self Custody Wallet, guys. Get yourselves ones today, guys. You can get the card, you can get just the biometric wallet. Absolutely fantastic. I use them. You should use them. Everybody should use them. Use our link down below. All right, let's have a look over at Swiftcoin. I got Zebec up on the charts right now. Swiftcoin, what do we got? We've got a little bit of resistance here for Swiftcoin right up here at 1 cent 61. We wicked up there already once today. Can we make another run at it? We're up 10.5% on the day. So we're going to have to break through this level. And yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. But we got to break through there, guys. We've hit it once. Usually when you hit these resistance levels, you like to see 3 touches. We've hit it twice. One more time should be good enough for the breakout. But yeah, Swift's going to do fantastic, man. Fantastic. It's my biggest bag, man. It's my biggest bag. Your boy, great morning. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, brother. This one's for you, coins. There you go. Beating coins to the punch. Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. All right, let's get into the chat a little bit here, see what's going on. What's up? What's up, man? Go pump it up. You got to pump it up. Absolutely, Andy. Absolutely. Cody, what's up, bro? Took some juicy profits this morning. Hope all is well and that you're feeling better. I'm feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. Rob's been lying to us. He has a crystal ball. Nice. Cody, he's always had a crystal ball. Paul, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Williams in the house. What's up, my guy? Guys, as always, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. It doesn't cost you a single solitary penny. Not nothing. Not a nickel, not a dime, not a penny. So why wouldn't you help a brother out, right? I would help you out. I would subscribe to your channel. H Barbarina in the house. What's going on, man? Amazing coins. Hey, hope you're feeling better. Yeah, little by little. I still have this bad infection in my lungs, so I have to get on antibiotics tomorrow. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, so yeah. A guy on time and ready to go. Nice, nice, nice. I can't play the first game for a few months. Just paid off. Paid off the CC. Promised myself I won't use it for 3 months. The first game? What are you talking about? You lost me, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Daryl, what's up, buddy? Squirtle's in the house. Green tea, first Pokemon of the day. Gotta catch them all, baby. Easy, yo, yo, yo. Green days ahead. Joy. Hey, Robin, Patreon family, thank you for all the gems you've given us. I'm happy I found you and the community. Best monthly $15 well spent. I appreciate you. Hit the likes, everyone. He is awesome. Thank you so much, Joy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. We're all family here. Pay it forward, brother. Absolutely. What's good, Rob? Will from the KC checking in. Ready for this Jasmine takeoff. Let's go. Jasmine up 4% on the day. Lily's in the house. What's going on, dear? Good to see you. There she is, Gamma Goddess. Let's continue to hold the line so we can get this money. Hell yeah. Can I get an amen? Definitely will, and we are all family. Hell yeah, we are. California is explaining a California road charge, a mileage tax. Just keep ruining it. Yeah. Yeah, we got to make up more taxes, right? We got to make up more taxes. You understand? You know, these politicians, they need more money in their pockets, guys. Come on, right? Bruno, what's up, buddy? Jake the Snake. Well, since you asked, we're waiting for Lambo, Roberto. Well, hey, that's a good answer. That is a good answer, my friend. I dig it. I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. All right. We'll jump back into the chat in a second. Bitcoin wicked all the way up here inside of our golden pocket, 97.4 we got to. We're sitting at 96.5, almost 96.6. Can we get inside this golden pocket and close in there? Well, we are using it as resistance, just as I said we would, right? I highlighted this area as resistance on the breakout of the bull pennant, but the big picture breakout of this bull pennant is up here between 102 and $104,000, right? We just got to break through these minor resistance levels between 87 and 88, and then 100K, and then it's boom, straight shot up 102, 104K out of this bull pennant. We'll see what happens. I dig it. I like it. And they say I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Rob, thank you for being awesome. Love being a part of this community. Now let's moon already. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, Hookem. Lizzie, what's going on? You're looking like 100% better today and sounding amazing. I'm glad to hear our amazing Rob is back in action. So happy to see everything the green today. Yeah, it's funny how I'm starting to look better and the market's starting to look better at the same time. It's like my health and the market are correlated, right? It's a coupling. I strongly recommend anybody that is not part of the Patreon group, get your butts over there. Best 25 bucks Canadian I have ever spent in a month. I definitely would have panic sold. There you go. I appreciate you, Lizzie. Thank you so much, dear. Chris, nice start to May so far. Hell yeah, it is, brother. Hell yeah. Another Chris. Hey, Rob, Coinbase disabled trading. Starting to let it's starting. Let this serve as an example to take profits before everyone else. Yeah, see, look at that. Market's pumping, and I keep saying it, guys. I keep saying it. When the market, wait till the market really starts to go parabolic. All of the major centralized exchanges are going to freeze your ability to trade. You're not going to be able to take profits, right? Especially if you're new to crypto, this is going to frustrate the hell out of you because you've never been through it before, right? And yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. Those same people, they're trying to navigate this space for free on their own without the help of someone with experience. They're going to have to learn the hard way, right? The problem is most new people in crypto are operating under the assumption that like all entities, like exchanges, for example, are all operating in good faith, and they're not, right? The game is rigged against you and you don't even know it. When everything's going parabolic, your ability to trade, your ability to take profits and sell is going to be frozen. And then you're going to be sitting there going, what the hell, man? And I'm going to be sitting there going, I told you to join the Patreon. We could have taught you how to be proactive and avoid this, but you thought you were smarter than the market, right? That's why they say 90 to 95% of new people in crypto get wrecked, because they think they're smarter than the market, right? They're not. You're not. There's things that happen that you don't even know are going to happen. And if you don't want to learn from somebody with experience that's been through multiple cycles, you're just going to have to learn the hard way and come back in 4 years and try again, I guess, right? During that big pump, but Rob and the people on the Patreon made it not stressful for me at all, knowing it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. Anyways, bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Lizzie. I appreciate you, dear. Why don't you just do water fast? What? I don't know. Mario, push-ups coming up, sir. There you go. Strawberry Dragon, I got one of my cowboys to join the Patreon, and we are waiting to retire. Thank you, Rob. Your crystal ball never fails. We got another super chat here. Nothing but the North Talk, my guy. We the ones, brother. We the ones. Rob, a realistic target for Zebec, please, in this cycle. Just a 1 cent. I know it's big already, but You just want 1 cent? My friend, it's going to go much, much higher than 1 cent. If I pull up the Zebec charts, now, actually, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you why I think Zebec's going to do so well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why on the Onyxcoin chart, right? So if we zoom out on Onyxcoin, on XCN, you guys, those of you who've been here for a while, who've been on the Patreon and stuff like that for quite some time, you guys remember we were buying Onyxcoin down in this area, down in 2011 and stuff like that, because we get in early on these projects, guys, right? That's what we do. So we get in down here. That's why you want to be a part of the Patreon, right? We get in down there. So then what happened, right? We came up here. Most of you guys probably remember this. Remember this ugly pattern? How ugly this was? It's almost like rounded here. And we just kept using this level. And like we had this nice pump here and everyone was excited. And then we just lost it all again. I remember this like it was yesterday, right? And we were still accumulating 202, right? We're still accumulating. And then we formed this bull pennant here, right? So I told you guys, that's why I kept the structure on here. I said, you know, this bull pennant here, and I gave you guys the target on the breakout. My target, it's hilarious. My target on Onyxcoin moves so violently and so fast, right? This blue line right here was my target for Zebec, which would have been, or not Zebec, sorry, Onyxcoin, which would have been a 20.5% move to the upside. That was my target, right, on the breakout. This thing got so much more violent than I had anticipated. Look how high it went up on that breakout. Absolutely insane. Still going, still going, still going, right? So then what do? We come up and we form another bull pennant, right, on that massive breakout. So we ping-ponged inside of here. Like I said, we had the bull pennant formed. And then we had another breakout. Boom. Another monster breakout. So we broke out from the bottom down here of 2011, where we were initially buying. Then we had our breakout at 202. We snapped all the way up here to the 1 cent. So here's the thing. As soon as we broke 1 penny, look how fast we snapped up. It only took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, less than a week. And then we snapped up to over 2 cents, 2.5 cents. So we went from 1 penny to 2 pennies after 6 days of consolidation, right? And then we just kept going. We went all the way up. So that's 6 days. So then on the 7th, 8th, on the 9th day, we got all the way up to 3.5 cents on Onyxcoin. Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I believe that Zebec is going to have a very, very similar move, right? It's going to do the same thing. And again, people are saying now, when Zebec or when Onyxcoin was down here, okay? I remember it like it was yesterday. Wes, you guys remember Wes? He was ambassador for Onyxcoin. He's on the channel all the time, right? So we were buying down here. When we were in this area, I was calling for like 3 to 5 cents, right? And Wes kept arguing with me, saying, no, 1 penny maximum. 1 penny maximum is how high it's going to go. I said, no, bro, you're wrong. Once you get into the pennies, it goes up faster, like 2 pennies, 3 pennies, 4 pennies. It took forever to get to 1 penny, but once you get to that full penny, then it starts going higher faster, right? So anyway, so we did that, right? We were down here. No one thought that was going to happen. So 202, right? Where is Zebec right now? 2013. So Zebec is down here where we were on Onyxcoin, right? Right down in this area. That's where we were on Onyxcoin. Onyxcoin broke all the way to 3 cents in, what's the time frame? What is the time frame? Broke all the way to 3 cents, 3.5 cents in, and I got to really scrunch it here to get it in. Such a violent move to the upside. How long did that take? So 2 zeros, 1 right here. It took about about 26 days. 26 days. It took less than 1 month to go from 2011, 2012, all the way up to 3.5 cents in 26 days. I believe that Zebec is going to do the same thing in rather short order. So strap in, strap on, buckle in, guys. And that's just the beginning, in my opinion, for Zebec. I think Zebec's going to do something very similar. I don't think that's the top. That's not the top. That's just going to be like the next move for Zebec, in my opinion. So strap in, guys. Absolutely. I got you covered. Okay, now let me find back where I was in the chat. There's Lizzie. Okay. You sound back to normal. Good to hear you're back to 100%. When jet skis. Yes, when jet skis. Indeed. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. To heal, not okay, not antibiotics. Okay. I see. Ty, what's up, man? We're gonna break and stay above 2014 on Zebec today. I mean, I hope so. That'd be nice. We're sitting below it right now. We are sitting below it right now. Tally, thank you, Rob, for helping us win this crypto game. You're a great teacher. Thank you so much. Surviving and thriving. Yes, where have you been? Good to see you back. Are you not entertained? Hit the like button. Gary, what's up, buddy? Have you heard of Leva Protocol? No, I have not heard of that project. I have not, sir. Carlos, Zebec 3 to 5 cents is fair for this cycle. Yeah, I just went through that. So just went through all of that. All right, so let's see what we have. We got a couple of videos to get through. We got to give my throat a rest. Pomp at it again. He says stocks, Bitcoin, and gold are all up double-digit percentages over the last 12 months. Anyone crying about asset prices is detached from reality.
Liberation Day was about 1 month ago, and it feels like it was years ago at this point. But the Declaration of Economic Independence brought market uncertainty, chaos, fear, and a hell of a lot of screeching from the cheap seats, all about how the economy was going to be destroyed. And all that noise ended up being just that, noise. The S&P 500 is essentially flat for the month of April, and the NASDAQ 100 is up more than 1% in the same time frame. And to think that there are still people talking about the Great Depression, it's ridiculous. It is insane how disconnected the conversation has gotten from reality.
Yep.
As I've continued to say, the fear-mongering and doomsday predicting is going to look ridiculous in hindsight. You may ask why I'm so confident in that prediction, and the answer is really simple. Markets are forward-looking. Investors understand the uncertainty around tariffs. There's no secret here. Everyone's talking about it all over the media. Investors know that consumers are slowing their spending, and companies are making business decisions that will contribute to slower growth in the short term. That's normal, and it is well understood at this point. But investors also realize that there is more clarity around tariffs today than there was a month ago. These capital allocators understand trade deals are on the way, and they also are hearing the administration promise lower tariff rates than originally announced. That clarity and a more rational approach to the tariff rates is giving investors confidence back. They're getting that confidence to put capital into the market. They know the ride could still be a little bumpy, but they now have line of sight to the other side of the volatility. And if you add in the fact that the Fed is likely going to cut interest rates in the coming months, it is hard to be bearish over the medium to long term. And if you're a bull over the medium to long term, then you want to buy assets when they are down year to date. But not every asset is down year to date. Both gold and Bitcoin are up since January 1st, which is largely attributed to the investor desire to find safety from uncertainty, and they're doing that in sound money principles. The S&P 500 is also up 12% in the last year, and the NASDAQ is up 14% in those 12 months as well. So every capital allocator has a choice moving forward. You can buy into the insane predictions of a depression, or you can remember that the United States of America is the greatest economy ever constructed. Our economy is built on the shoulders of the most technologically advanced, innovative companies in the history of the world. I don't know how it became cool to be a pessimist. That strategy has never worked out over the long run. So be a student of history and remember that reflexivity still rules the day.
I love what he just said there. I don't know when it became cool to be a pessimist. That strategy has never worked in investing. That is key. And there's so many negative people out there that need to understand that. That pessimistic, negative, emotional, the thing is, the negative people out there, they don't even realize they're being emotional. They legitimately think they're being perfectly clear-headed and logical about everything. They really do think that, right? That strategy, if you find yourself being negative, if you find yourself putting negative comments online, whether it's in YouTube chats, comment sections over on X, whatever it is, if you find yourself doing that, and I say this I'm not attacking you, I'm saying this from a position that I care, okay? Stop yourself and realize, like Pomp just said, that strategy of being pessimistic and negative about everything when it comes to this stuff has never led to becoming a successful millionaire, multimillionaire investor. Never in the history of investing has that been successful. So stop yourself, realize what you're doing, reset yourself, touch grass, come back with a more open mind to things, right? And I hope that I'm reaching some people, because there's some people out there that are, even now they're putting in the comment section of my videos, we're going into a bear market, even now, right? So if you want to be successful long-term in investing in general, not just in crypto, stocks, whatever it is, if you're putting negative comments out there everywhere and stuff, if you're waking up every day and you're like, oh, it's going down, it's not up, stop yourself. Only you can save yourself. You have to be able to stop yourself and say, this is not a successful, you're manifesting your thoughts. It's true. Energies are true, guys. What you put out there into the universe is what comes back at you, right? If you're this pissy, negative, you're going to manifest these pissy, negative things in your life. So reset yourself, touch grass, come at it from a positive perspective, right? Let me tell you a story, okay? I've told this story over on the Patreon. This was about 2 months ago. I came from a background of sales, autos. Like I used to finance vehicles, right? So I love sales, love it, right? That was my career. Own a dealership, actually. But I went to the gym, and this guy that works at the gym, and he's a good dude. He's a good dude. I consider him a friend. He said to me, his second job was selling furniture, right? And he was on commission. And I remember he said to me, it was about 2 months ago, he said, I think I'm going to quit my other job selling furniture. I said, why? Why are you going to do that? He said, well, I'm not making any money. He said, they have a certain quota that you have to make. Like, you have to sell like $2,500 worth of furniture every month or something like that. And if you don't sell $2,500 worth of furniture within, like, for 3 months in a row, you get fired or whatever, right? And I said, okay. I said, so what's your commission? He told me his commission. I said, what's your cap? He said, well, there is no cap. I said, whoa. Wait a second here. Let me understand this correctly. You work in a place that is paying you commission, right? And there's no cap on how much money you can make in a month. None. You could make a fortune if you wanted to, right? And they won't stop you. He said, yeah, there's no cap. And what they want you to sell is $2,500 worth a month, right? He's like, yeah. I said, dude, you are in a position set up for success right now. His mindset was all wrong. I said, you should be going into work tomorrow thinking to yourself, you guys messed up. You guys didn't put a cap on how much money I can make. I'm walking out of this place with 10 G bars a month. You think the floor, what I need to sell is $2,500? I'm going to 5X that every month. I can make 10, 15, 20 grand a month working here with no cap. You guys should have limited me. You messed up. That's the attitude that I told him he should have going in there, is that it's an opportunity, not a handcuff, right? And he thought about it for a while. He said, you know what? I'm going to go in there tomorrow with a different attitude. And I'm going to try that. I'm going to, and I said, yes, because if you approach everything with negativity, whether it's investing, your job, whatever it is, you're going to manifest negative stuff because you're oozing negativity, right? Change your mindset. Be positive about whatever it is you're doing, right? You'll probably become successful at it, guys. Think about that. I love to see the notifications go off. Yes, that's awesome. Hey, Rob, when do you think a gaming narrative will become popular? Probably sometime closer to the fall. Rod, my guy, my dude, what's up, buddy? Getting better a little bit every day, man. David, where you been, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Dave, hey, man, still not giving up on my lake house at the end of summer. She's waking up. Let's freaking go, Zebec. Hell yeah. Your boy, only you can prevent pessimism. Smokey the Bear. Yeah, or something like that, right? Has anyone been watching Bonk Coin? No, I have not. Was Bonk doing something special today? Let's have a look. No, it's down today. It's not really doing anything. Virtuals is having itself another good day. Holy smokes. 28% up. Sam, my Coinbase account is freaking out. Is anyone else having trouble? Opportunity mindsets, obligation mindset. Exactly. My attitude was like, I told him, like, dude, I will come and work there just to show you. Like, I'll come there and I'll work for a month. I would be leaving that store every month, clearing 10, 15 grand a month in commissions every month, right? I would love every second of it. I'm like, you are crazy if you're going to leave that job. Haven't been in the lives, but been watching all the videos. My guy, that's awesome, brother. Thomas, yeah, Coinbase has an outage right now. Yep. See, told you guys. Learn how to avoid these problems, guys. Happy Thor's Day. I see what you did there. I just saw a picture actually for the cast of the next Thor movie coming out. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, Coinbase is having service issues. Is anyone having trouble with Coinbase? Keeps flickering. It's funny. Don't you find it funny that Coinbase or Binance or none of the other exchanges, it's funny how they don't have any problems when the market is bleeding in red, only when it's green. Isn't that interesting? Here, Rob, glad you feel better. Would love look at Dovu. Dovu? That sounds like a bad like cable channel network or something. Dovu. I think I looked at that a few months ago. Dovu, $8.8 million market cap. Yeah, I looked at this a while ago. It's on HBAR. Regenerative finance. All-time high was half a penny. Yeah, the reason I don't really like this one is because there's no listings, right? It only has two listings, MEXC and Bitmart, which means there's not much liquidity in a project like that, right? Remember, as we always talk about, guys, hard to buy, hard to sell, right? You could buy this till you're blue in the face and it could pump like crazy. But if it's not listed on a bunch of exchanges, no one else has access to buy it. It's hard to buy, it's hard to sell, right? You could get stuck holding it. Bruno, yep, Coinbase lagging today. There you go. Is Jasmine Road? Yes, absolutely. Matt, I did 2 videos the day before yesterday breaking down the Jasmine roadmap and giving my thoughts on it. Definitely go watch those videos. My Coinbase app is okay. I mean, so much money coming in, going out, they can't handle. Here's the thing, Angel. They say that, but you know what? They were around for the last bull run. They know what it was like, and they should have spent the time upgrading their servers and stuff to be able to handle the volume. For them to be using volume as an excuse at this point is BS, right? Because they had 4 years to prepare for this. They know what's going to happen. They know what the volume's going to be like. They could have upgraded their servers. So either they're lying or they didn't upgrade their servers and they should have known better, right? So for me, it's not a good excuse. Mine is working fine. Metal detecting in England. What's up, buddy? I'm still holding my 10 million Jasmine. There you go. 1 Bitcoin. Let's go. J Money in the house. Bulbasaur. We got our second Pokemon of the day. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, brother. Ty saw something about Zebec and Prophecy partnering on another channel. Is it true, Rob? I haven't seen anything yet come out about a partnership with Zebec and anybody, so not yet anyway. All right, what else do we have in the news, guys? What else is going on out there? Check it out, guys. 21 Shares has filed for a spot SUI ETF with the SEC. Big news for SUI, guys. Fantastic. Super fantastic. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. Let's check out Tom Lee. Tom Lee says, oh, what did he say? He says Bitcoin could hit $250,000 this year.
What is the movement in Bitcoin, Stadium? So we're at 91,000. What is that? What is that a signal or a sign of anything in this sort of analysis?
Stupid Fed.
Yeah.
It's not cutting.
Yeah, Bitcoin's down roughly 15% from its highs, which for a hyper-volatile asset is a pretty normal correction. And it is slightly following global liquidity, but we're pretty early in this halving cycle. So to me, I think Bitcoin in the near term, again, our technician thinks 70,000 is where we can sort of make a stand. Means you're getting a big opportunity because I think Bitcoin's going to be one of the best performing assets.
So, but you still think it goes all the way down to 70,000, or you think that's the floor, in which case you would still buy at this price?
Yeah, so there's Fibonacci's. So one level would be 70.
Let's say that again.
There's retracement levels. So
Yes.
You pull back from where you rallied.
Right.
So 70 is one level.
How are you going to work on a finance channel like Squawk Box and not know what Fibonacci levels are?
It could go to as low as the 50s, but that's, again, not a new level. It's just where it touches it before it begins to rally.
Okay, let me ask you a different question. For those folks who are watching who are not in Bitcoin or are thinking about buying Bitcoin at these prices, are you saying that this is a fair and good price to get in, or are you saying wait because you think it's going farther down?
You know, Bitcoin is something you need to be long-term focused. I don't think anyone's going to lose money buying here at 90. If they're trying to time this, maybe they'll get lucky and it goes to 70. But to me, Bitcoin could be significantly higher this year, you know, maybe 200, 250. So I think 90 is still a good entry point.
See, my target is 150 to 180,000, guys. You guys know that, though. You guys know that. Let's check in on the M2 money supply correlation. Boom. Looking juicy, looking good, guys. Continuing to track very, very nicely. Are you ready for the next leg up, baby? Whew. All right, we got another video here from Squawk Box to get into. Let me see, catch up on this. Haven't had any trouble with Coinbase. I'm not having issues. Blah, what's going on? Yo. What's up, Rob? You sounding better. Keep it up. Here's hoping for a huge bull run. Hell yeah. 250K is crazy. Agreed. Christopher, we got Onyx in the house. Third Pokemon of the day. Hey, Rob, how we doing? Hope you're on the mend, brother. All is good out there. Yeah, gonna head to the doctors tomorrow. Elizabeth, hey, Rob, what's going on? Yes, we are in May. So, Kevin Hassett from the National Economic Council. Check it out, guys.
Media reporting that the U.S. has reached out to China for tariff talks. Join us now at the latest. White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. Kevin, thanks for joining us. It's good to have you on. We have our person over in China Eunice Yoon, we talked about this quite a bit earlier, the way that China is characterizing what happened, the possible reasons why China is characterizing it that way. And we're looking for sort of the unvarnished truth of what's going on. And we know both sides have their story. It comes on the same day, Kevin, that we're seeing that things are not so great. China said that they can easily handle what's going on, but you're already seeing some pretty large cracks. But when they said this today, they said, "Oh, the United States can't take it," and they've come with hat in hand, groveling to see us. What's our take on that? The administration, in other words.
Yeah, our take on it is that the United States is ready for any eventuality, and we're hopeful for progress. The fact is that China has been acting poorly in the past on trade. We've responded accordingly. We're very pleased to see that last week China pulled back a bunch of tariffs on U.S. products, perhaps in a show of good faith. And so I'm hopeful that Secretary Bessent, who's shown how good he can be at this by closing the Ukraine deal, is going to be able to help make progress with our Chinese friends. Now, certainly there have been kind of loose discussions all over both governments, and I think that the fact that the tariffs came off last week shows that we're very close to making the kind of progress we need to move the ball forward.
And you actually say you don't know whether you assume the president has talked to President Trump has talked to President Xi, but you're not willing to say outright that phone call occurred. But it's
President
been
Trump
a very
communicates about those, but I can tell you that I personally have not spoken with the Chinese.
All right, that we always get sort of a dodge. Yeah. The expression that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. In recent days, there's been like some confusion about who's handling China. And over the weekend or previous to this, Secretary Bessent said, "I have talked to China, but not about tariffs." Then Lutnick said he's in charge. And you tell me, you are saying without any question that the president has asked Bessent to lead the tariff negotiations with China.
But yeah, make it 100% clear that this 100%. Trade team, 100%, this trade team is unified. We get along. I've been in meetings with Secretary Lutnick and Secretary Bessent and Jameson Greer yesterday, all over the place, in the ovals. And everybody collegially is divvying up on a massive amount of work. And Secretary Lutnick and Jameson Greer are making progress with numerous countries. I think it's more than 20 now, where we actually have hard offers on the table. And I spent about an hour in my office yesterday where Secretary Lutnick was talking about all the progress that they're making. And I actually want to characterize it for a second, which is that one of the top asks for us is just, if we sell something in the US, then your country should let us sell it into your country too. Stop all these non-tariff barriers. We're making great progress on that. And Secretary Bessent, as Treasury Secretary, who's, as you know, in the food chain, very, very highly ranked U.S. official. And he is the appropriate person, given the stakes, to be negotiating with the Chinese right now. And that's something that was agreed to by the president, by Secretary Lutnick, by everybody on the trade team.
It just seemed, now, maybe he was talking at the time about whether he had engaged China on tariffs. But it seemed a little bit ambiguous when he said, "Yeah, I'm in contact with China a lot, but about other issues other than tariffs." It wasn't a dodge necessarily, but it didn't seem like like he grabbed it with both hands and said, "Yeah, this is up to me." And that's why I said the success has, maybe it wasn't going as quickly as hoped. And success, once again, many fathers, but suddenly failure is an orphan. So he's been in charge all along.
There are not many fathers. There's one team, and everybody talks together about what's going to happen. What are we doing? What's the position that the president thinks is best for this or that? And there's no way that, as we talk about China, that you're not going to see everybody on that team in the room.
Hey, Kevin, many on Wall Street, different firms have put together real analyses, I should say, of what the tariffs will mean for growth, for employment, for all those things. And they have made lots of different estimates and assumptions and things like that. And that's something historically that your group has done for all sorts of things. Have you done that yet? And can you share those numbers with us?
Just to be clear, Aaron, and to avoid any confusion, I'm director of the National Economic Council now, which is the Larry Kudlow job. I used to be the chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, and that's Steve's job now. And Steve has a team of something like 40 PhD economists who are both already, if you go to their website, you can see they're putting out public reports about the effects, I think the most recent one, of extending the tax cuts on the economy. And absolutely, they're doing research on tariffs. Yes, for sure, Steve's service.
But there has not been a report. Is there a report or any genuine analysis that you've been either engaged in, involved in, inside the White House that discusses if we pursue these tariffs at these levels, this is what happens to economic growth, this is what happens to employment, all of the kind of basic things that I think the public so desperately wants to better understand?
Yeah, absolutely, 100% we have, Aaron. And the way to think about it is that every year, a White House puts out a budget. And in the budget, you have to say, over the next 10 years, here's what's going to happen, here's what growth's going to be, and here's what the president's policy priorities are. And if those policies are realized, here's what happens to economic growth. And that analysis will come out when the president releases his budget. But for sure, every single thing from tariffs to spending to taxes, the big, beautiful bill, all of that stuff has been very carefully modeled by Steve and his
but just so we're clear, the tariff piece...
And I'll be clear too, Aaron, that the growth rate is going to be very similar or higher to what you saw when we were doing the budgets in 2017.
The great Aaron Sorkin, by the way, I should mention, the great Aaron Sorkin wrote a terrific show about the West Wing, which you now exist in. I did not write the West Wing, though I wish I could say I did. So Andrew
The show or the building?
Well.
Hey, Kevin, we're talking about trying to pay for all these other things that, they're in the big, beautiful bill. You want to extend the 2017. I assume you want to extend it as is, but we're hearing, and it happened again today, and we had Scalise on, and we had Chairman Smith on. They won't take that a new higher top tax bracket for people making over $1 million of 40%. Or letting it go back to 39.6. They won't take that off the table. I saw the president say he doesn't want to do that. Whenever we have these people on, they say everything is on the table. Can you provide any clarity there? Is everything on the table? Would you go back and one of the main tenets of that, you argue was a very successful outcome from that bill, would you change one of the basic? That was a very important part of that bill. Are you going to go back on that? It was a very important
part of the bill. President Trump has made it clear that he doesn't support that movement. And right now, Congress House and Senate are working collegially together to move towards a bill that everybody agrees on. I was there with Secretary Bessa helping to have a conversation with the majority leader and the speaker and Chairman Crapo and Jason Smith at Ways and Means just on Monday. And the amount of agreement was really close to 95%. Now, there's some stuff that are House priorities that the Senate doesn't have, some stuff that are Senate priorities that the House doesn't have. And then there's our priorities, which it seems like everybody agrees with, at least when they talk to us to our faces. And so I think we're making an enormous amount of progress. So the idea that we get a bill passed by, say, early July at the latest is very, very, very likely.
Let me ask you this. Kevin, is it going to be scored, whatever comes out? Are you going to have to fall back on the growth is going to take care of any of these big numbers that the CBO scores it with? Because at this point, if you extend the tax cuts and you do all the other things that the president has been talking about, with tips and Social Security, the CBO, if they just put the numbers in, what's going to come out on the other side is a huge deficit busting plan. Now, we've had people on that just keep talking about, well, there's going to be growth. There's going to be growth. Ignore that. There's going to be growth. Ignore that. How are you going to pay for it? Is there any other way to do it? And tell me about Medicaid and what you'll cut, what you'll propose, and whether it's an actual cut or just a slowdown in the increase.
Yeah, okay. So basically on the tax side, we've been working very carefully to make sure that the tax bill, as designed by people in the Finance and Ways and Means committees and approved by the White House, satisfies the congressional rules that rely on CBO scoring. And so the chance that somebody's going to be ambushed by the CBO at the last minute and that's going to upend the bill, that's just wrong. But you do have to also keep in mind, as you do, Joe, all the time, that there's what the CBO says, and then there's what the truth is in the end. And so as an example, when we cut the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, the CBO told us that we were going to crater revenue because they don't believe in Laffer curve effects. Subsequently, if you look right now, corporate revenue is about double what it was before we cut it to 21%. And so for sure, there's going to be a lot of growth effects that accrue way more revenue. And we're already seeing it, Joe, if you wonder, like, where do future taxes come from? From capital investment today, right? Because then businesses are making profits in the future. You noticed in yesterday's GDP release that equipment investment skyrocketed 20% and business fixed investment was up 10%. Those were bigger numbers than we got for the last year and a half of the previous administration. And when that stuff happens, then that's the dynamic effect that gives you more revenue. And it's already visible in the data that had the weird import glitch. But other than that, it was a really, really strong number, and especially strong in the places that produce future tax revenue.
You might have some real deficit. You might have some deficit hawks. And we've talked about whether any of these members of Congress on either Senate or in the House, whether they're going to get emboldened if the president's poll numbers were to go down, and are they going to, they're going to be much harder to whip into shape. Some of them might not like that you just talk about growth. They may insist on some pay-fors.
Well, what did we just see? Like, if you just looked at the GDP release, Joe, what did we just see? We saw reductions in government spending. We saw really pretty big reductions in government spending. You can see that our budget hawks here in the White House are more effective than budget hawks anywhere in Washington, and they're actually getting the job done with the help of Elon Musk. And then you're also seeing something else that's not in the reconciliation process. You're seeing tariff revenue go up a lot, which is another thing that helps the fiscal situation. But in the end, if you wonder, like, what's the scorecard? Are we being fiscally sane or not? Then ultimately, it's what you see in bond markets. So look at the 10-year now. It's down, about 60 basis points since we started this process. And that's saving real Americans tons of money and saving the federal government lots of money, too, in terms of the interest expense that we have. And so why does the Treasury rate go down? It's because people understand that we're going to not have another inflationary spending blowout like we did in the previous administration. That's what the bond market's saying.
That can change on a dime like it did not too long ago. Other people say it's because of the negative print on the GDP or growth concerns or whatever, Kevin. I'm just trying to just get to the crux of the matter. So you're willing to, or the administration and you figure Congress is willing to enact all these new tax cuts, extend the last tax cut bill from 2017, and not worry or not try to raise revenue anywhere else. That could be a bill that's presented. And did you talk about Medicaid cuts? Where would there be cuts in Medicaid?
There's going to be reform and waste, fraud, and abuse. It's being discussed and negotiated with people in the House, exactly what that would look like. It's being discussed with people in the House and the Senate. But the uncertainty about spending reductions is close to zero, Joe, right? Because in the instructions, they actually say how much they need to cut in the House and the Senate. And the numbers are there. You can just look at them, and they have different numbers. So maybe there's a little bit of uncertainty about where it's going to end. But when I say they're going to have a bill and it's going to pass, then that means I'm highly confident that people have found the spending reductions that they need in order to get the bill passed.
Nice.
All right. Just back to tariffs before we got some data at 8:30, I think, Kevin. Could you see a world where, and I think someone was trying to sell the positives of what a lot of people are calling 100 days of chaos, but in selling the positives, that the president wants to end up at a place where the worst actors, and you could throw China in there maybe, are isolated, and maybe it's a handful, and that everybody else is either zero, reciprocal, or much less than what the current regime has. Is that the goal?
My briefing on all of the negotiations is that countries are opening up their markets to U.S. products. So U.S. farmers, U.S. producers are going to be able to have way more access to foreign markets, and they're doing so in a way that is, making it easier for us to move the reciprocal tariffs down in the deal. and what the final deal looks like will be decided by the president. But the progress to report is extraordinary. And if you'd like, the person in the middle of all that is Jameson Greer and Howard Lutnick, outside of China. And I'm sure they're happy to talk to you about the progress they make today. I'm sure there'll be news by the end of the day.
So you don't know if it's who's first, if it's India or South Korea, or what's going on with Japan. Can you tease us? Can you give us anything? Can you dangle?
I think I know, but I can't tease. Sorry.
You do think you know?
I do think I know, but I'm not going to.
Can you give us a hint?
No, because it might not be true. We're just guessing.
Well, hopefully he's being honest, right? Hopefully he is being honest. We got a super chat here from Chris. Can you look at Bonk on the screen? Just curious to see if I'm seeing things correctly. Yes, I was actually looking at Bonk. And here's what I see on Bonk for you, my friend. We got kind of a cup and handle going on here on Bonk. Bit of a cup and handle, right? Looking like it might be forming. My breakout levels are going to be right here. I got them on the screen for you. Got potentially some resistance here at 40244. Some more resistance up here at 40335. That's where I would be looking for my next resistance levels. But you are about to have a move to the upside, in my opinion, on Bonk for sure. So depending on how this plays out. But it's starting to look like a cup and handle. Is that what you were seeing? Richie Rich, Zebec is giving me a nice. Yes, it's looking juicy today, brother. Wendy, good morning. Good morning. Christopher, no subsidies. Yes, exactly. All right, guys, listen, I got to get ready. We're going to be doing a live stream over on the Patreon. We're going to continue this over there in about 15, 20 minutes. So get over to the Patreon, guys. Join the live stream over there. We got some things to talk about. I'm going to be making a move in my portfolio today. So come aboard. Check it out. The link is down below. It's in the chat. It's in the pinned comments, guys. You can book one-on-one coaching calls with me over there. We drop educational content, microcap gems, live every single day. So, yeah, absolutely, yeah, take a look. It's all-time, yeah, I see patterns. There you go, brother. Absolutely. So, yeah, come on over to the Patreon, guys. I'll see you there live in about 15, 20 minutes. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.